Bad girls in the place with the pretty face, itty bitty waist and the fat cake. Let me get a taste. Yeah, we need to get the bottles out the case. Shorty got a body like she got
Welcome back to Lost Aux Media, everybody. I am so happy to have you guys back. I hope you guys are feeling good because I know I am feeling very, very good. We got a couple new jamokes on the docket as well as some of the old jamokes. You know, we can't forget about the old jamokes, you know. We got a little bit of Tana Mojo and Brooke Schofield. That was an interesting situation, you know. I ended up finding out about the canceled podcast. Scrolling through Twitter, I ended up seeing this clip of Tana talking about how Brooke had some risky tweets online. And that got me intrigued because, you know, I've been covering Ethan Klein lately, and Tana Mojo was part of that celebrity poker tour. So I started getting really intrigued on that. Ended up finding out that Brooke almost poisoned her cat. You know, a little bit more on that later. Then, of course, we got Ethan Klein doing their second celebrity poker tour, him and Hila, the queen, Hila, you know, and they're getting drunk as shit. Ethan's getting crazy, saying some real outlandish stuff. And then in their latest episode, one of their latest episodes, the H3 show number 50, titled Why Frenemies is Never Coming Back. The show kind of wasn't even really about that, but they ended up getting into some risky behavior there as well. A little bit more on that later. Then we got Kill Tony. Of course, we can't forget about Tony Hinchcliffe. We had Matt Rife on the latest episode of Tony Hinchcliffe. And we got Haley Hawk, a Tuah girl, that we'll be talking about a little bit later as well. Hopefully we can end up getting to all these different jamokes, you know what I mean? Speaking of bad girls, you know, we'll be talking about Tana Mojo and Brooke Schofield, all right? So, like I was telling you, I ended up coming across the canceled podcast from seeing like a clip on Twitter or something like that, right? And the clip was basically just Tana kind of apologizing to the camera. I saw the tweets that Brooke posted back in the day. They were horrific. I'm mortified, you know. It's like the cookie cutter influencer apology, right? So I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Dug into it, ended up seeing the risky tweets. Brooke, apparently, this girl was like sending out more racist tweets than Donald Trump back in the day, dude. This girl was really getting loose on Twitter with the fucking keyboard fingers, you know what I mean? Dropping hard R's, all sorts of shit. So I kind of found that a little interesting. I'm like, oh man, this girl's getting the axe. I'm not even an episode in. I'm like, what am I about to get myself into here? So, but then after doing a little bit of digging, I kind of found it a little odd because Tana had a little bit of a past as well. You know what I mean? Like, if you go on Google, we'll do this right now. Tana Mojo racist tweets. Let's see what we end up coming up with here. We can go to images, and you could see, look, one of the first images we pull up here. Tana Mojo with some good old racist tweets. So let's check this out. If you're just listening, this is ironic because I'm about to read you these tweets, and Tana's name on Twitter is Black Lives Matter. Okay, right? So she's like sending a reply to somebody named Amari Stewart, which I'm coming to find out she's like friends with. She's still friends with them. Doesn't make these tweets any less risky here. So the first one we got on the left, she's adding him, you know, she's throwing the ats at him, and she's calling him a cotton picker. That's bad enough. I don't know this Amari guy. I don't even know what he looks like, but I'm going to guess he's black just because of these tweets, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to not do the math on this one. Now, this next one's even richer. And like I said, mind you, her display name on Twitter is Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? And she's sending out these tweets. Now, this next one, you know, you might have to sit down for this one. It's a little risky. It says, at Amari Stewart, I have a puzzle for you. Imari equals _IG _ER. Now, if you're just listening at home, what we have here is a real Wheel of Fortune type situation here. There's no vowels left, because they're all on the board. So what you have is just two random guesses that you have to figure out. And I'll remind you of the puzzle. Imari equals _IG_ER. Right? Picture that in your mind. And try to take a guess as to what those two missing letters are and what this word might end up spelling, right? So we're obviously not dealing with the sane here. So when I saw that, I got very intrigued, right? And that got me to wanting to check out that apology video. I was like, wait, where's this apology? Like, I want to see like how Tana actually handled this whole situation, right?
Hello and welcome back to the Canceled Podcast. Obviously, as you guys can see, I am alone on this couch. Brooke is not here with us today, and I want to be abundantly clear that was my decision. We all saw the tweets, and they're fucked up, and they're horrific, and I'm saying that as a white person.
Were they as fucked up as the tweets that you sent to Amari? I mean, come on here. I'm just doing like quick math. I'm not even heavily invested in this show yet. Like I said, this seems too juicy not to watch this. I don't know how I missed it for so long. But so she's saying that she's like, man, as a white person, I'm mortified. Did you forget about your tweets? But that's beside the point, right? Brooke is the one who did something bad. We're not focusing on Tana. Brooke is the one who did something bad, but because Brooke's the co-host, Tana has to have like some level of responsibility, I guess. I don't really care for all this cancel culture stuff, so I don't give a shit about how this works. To me, it's dumb. If you did something, all right, apologize for it, but you don't have to get like real, like, oh man, I'm sorry. It was mortifying. It was terrible. I hope she never does it again. As a white person, I think every black person deserves better. Everyone can see through your act. Nobody's believing these influencer apology videos. You know what I mean? So let's check out a little bit more of Tana's awesome ass apology.
Right? Like, I cannot even imagine being a black non-fan or fan and reading those tweets. And I've made it very clear to Brooke as well that I condemn her for these tweets, and they're fucking horrible, and I have no right to forgive her as a white person for the things that she said.
God damn, dude. So I'm going to tell you right there, that's some pretty heavy shit. Like, to say to somebody that you condemn them, that's not really like a light connotation. You know what I mean? Like, so think about it like God. You know what I mean? When he condemned Lucifer, that motherfucker fell out of the sky. And I'm not a religious person, but what I'm getting at here is that that's not a very light phrase. You don't just throw that around. I condemn someone, right? So she obviously must really mean this apology. As you can see here, she's broken up over it. She's fucking having a time over this whole situation. But then when I watch this, like I said, I don't really fall for the influencer apologies, right? So I kind of got to thinking, let me type into Google search Tana Mojo apology and see what happens. This chick has been apologizing like pretty much since she became an influencer. So you have right here, the first video that shows up, 4.2 million views, Tana Mojo page, 7 years ago, an apology. Right underneath it, 4 years ago, 2.2 million views. A long overdue apology. Well, you scroll down, right down here, 2 more videos down. Tana Mojo, 2.2 million views 8 years ago. The truth. And an apology. You know what I mean? So this chick has been apologizing like nonstop, right? So like when the whole Brooke thing happened, at least from the little bit of research that I did, it seemed like Brooke was done. And it seemed to me that a lot of the fans thought that Brooke was done too. And you watch that apology video that we just got done feasting our eyes on. I mean, it seems like Tana is like, all right, let's cut ties with this chick and let's move on and keep the money flowing, because that's really all these guys care about. That's the only reason she's apologizing. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If she knew that the fans weren't gonna care and that maybe she might not lose sponsorships and stuff like that over this whole situation with Brooke, Tana would not give two shits. I'll tell you that first and foremost. So let's get into the time codes of this episode. This is the latest episode of the Canceled Podcast that I'm happening to see. It's the latest one that came out when this recording happened. And I'll tell you right now, homegirl, they look very much like nothing happened. You know what I mean? Two peas in a pod, if you will.
So then I start obviously sending them down.
Oops. I'm sorry, I was in the middle of watching it earlier. Let's start from the beginning. We need the genesis.
Hello and welcome back to the Canceled Podcast. I'm like, do you see her? See, there she is, y'all.
Oh, man. Look at Tana. Very happy. Very happy that Brooke's back. And I guess we are too. You know, I don't know Brooke that well, so I'm cool. I'm cool with it. She's cool in my book as of now. I don't know her all that well. So, you know, a couple racist tweets, that means very little to a guy like me. I mean, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm not black, but I've been dealing with racism all my life too. People say, you know how many times I've been called a Mexican? You know how many times I've been mistaken for a Mexican? And I'm not talking mustache days. This is pre-mustache. You think I had this mustache all my life when I was a kid growing up? Always getting called Mexican. I grew up in a predominantly white area, you know, so I forgive them. They know not what they do. But let's check out these two, this nice reuniting. And it feels so good.
Yeah, squash the rumors. I am not yet kicked off the Canceled Podcast.
Dude, so first of all, I was just in Europe and a couple days ago, I shot an episode with Paige and Amari. And
Amari. So, I mean, obviously that racism probably wasn't rooted in hate, but that's still very, very spicy words to be thrown out in a public forum like Twitter. You know what I mean? So can we forgive her? I don't know. But we're not focusing on that. I wanted to zoom in on this shirt right here. This is irony at its best, in my opinion. So Tana, you can't see it because she's got the little scrunch. She's kind of sitting bent down. So you know when you get that crease in your stomach and the flabs, they kind of suck in the shirt. You know what I mean? She's got those big old honkers. So you kind of can't really see the letters on the shirt all that well. But it says, only God can cancel me. You know, that's a very, very, it's like a statement piece. You know what I mean? Like she's not only doing fashion, but she's kind of saying like, hey, man, she could send out a couple racist tweets. You know, I could send out a couple racist tweets. I'll give you guys an apology like I know you guys want. At the end of the day, I'm going to have whoever the fuck I want on this. As long as those sponsors keep coming, the money stays the same. Shit, you guys can get 1,000 apologies out of me. All right? Only God can cancel my ass. So let's check these two out. Happy, peas in a pot.
I said everything that I'm about to re-say again, but then obviously I flew home and I was like, why am I going to put out another episode that's just going to like fuel these rumors more and like get a bunch more hate?
People
like
think we're really beefing.
All right.
I mean, obviously
so
that just...
people think that they're really beefing. But now they're back together. It's a very, very happy story. You know what I mean? So I was, like I said, I was like, oh man, a couple crazy tweets, man. I don't think the fans are going to cancel her just yet. And I'm not invested in the show enough to really give a shit about this girl. And then I kept listening because I was like, there's got to be something, man. It's called the Canceled Podcast. Like, why? It's got to be called the Canceled Podcast for a reason, right? These girls got to be talking about the craziest antics, you know? And as I kept watching, I ended up stumbling upon this one story that Brooke was telling where she almost ended up poisoning her cat. And I was like, damn, man, if this girl can't catch a break, because if the fans don't get her over the racist tweets, I mean, Peter might come after this bitch for the cat. Because when you hear this shit was not accidental, man. Like, I mean, it was accidental, but it kind of wasn't. I'm leaving you with cliffhangers. Let's get to the clip. You'll see what I'm talking about here.
So I told the whole story already, but he ate a Wellbutrin and then a 300 milligram Wellbutrin. He's only 4 pounds. Okay. Because I think he has like pica or something. He will eat everything.
What's
like
pica?
Where you like people who eat like
inanimate
feathers.
objects.
Yeah.
Inanimate objects? That's so funny. Listening to these two, like having to talk about anything that involves like a tiny bit of thinking, it's like watching a like intellectual gladiator battle. You know what I mean? Like they're sitting there asking each other about Pika, and I'm like, which one's gonna win? Like which one's gonna say it first? Which one's gonna think that they know what Pika is, and then just say some outlandishly dumb shit? And I love how Tana phrases it because she's kind of not wrong, but she says, is that like when you eat like inanimate objects? Like, is it, how the fuck that is one hell of a way to phrase that shit. But I'll take it. I mean, you know, so now I'll explain to you what's going on here. Brooke's talking about how she has like a 4-week-old cat or something like that. You know, it's very small, it's kitten. But it's like one of those Bengal cats, like those really expensive looking exotic cats. I mean, those things are practically like wild animals. You can't, you got to have like enough space for them to run around. Eventually, I think she mentions it here, after like 6 months to a year, like you got to feed those bastards raw meat. Like you can't just be giving them no, kitty kibbles and bits or whatever it is that, dry food bullshit. These guys got to eat like that good protein. So she's sitting there saying how this cat has so much energy, how it always wants to eat, and how it'll just eat anything that gets dropped on the floor. So she's talking about how she dropped like a 300 milligram Wellbutrin on the floor. This cat ended up gobbling that thing up before it even hit the ground. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at right now. And I'll tell you this right now, that Wellbutrin is not responsible for the poisoning. Okay? So let's hold on to this story.
Like not food.
I'm close to Pika.
So he ate an entire bouquet of roses the other day. Like there's nothing that he won't eat. You know what I mean? So if he hears a tap on, like I dropped my pill on the ground, I'm not even kidding. I don't even think it hit the ground before it like was down his esophagus. And I freak out, obviously. So then I go on this emergency pet service. Like I literally Google like emergency like poison control.
Okay. Let's hold on to that. Now it sounds like she's doing the right thing. This cat ate a Wellbutrin. She's freaking out. She goes online. She goes, hey, clickety clack on the keyboard. Where's the emergency pet control or whatever, emergency service? You know what I mean? This cat very well might be poisoned. I need to take care of this. So far, so good.
And I find this service, first thing I find, and you have to pay for it first, which already like, what the fuck do you mean I'm going to have to type in all my information if I think my animal is about to die? Okay.
It's like those websites where you try to find people's phone numbers and...
Yeah, so I start talking to this girl and she's like...
Okay, so now here's where things start taking a little bit of a left turn. She goes online. She starts talking about how she finds this emergency service, but oddly enough, you have to like pay and type in all the information. Like your cat could be having like a stroke. You know what I mean? Like make sure that card ends up going through before we give you any type of any information. We cannot help you unless that plastic is hot. You know what I mean? If that shit comes back bounced, sorry, Charlie, you got to go. Like that. Good luck with your cat. So that's a big red flag right there. You know what I mean? It's not many. I mean, I can't think of an ambulance that's going to make sure that you got good plastic on you before they give you a ride to the hospital. You know what I mean? It's just not the way that medical services work. And just because it's a vet doesn't make it, too much different. So that's a big red flag right there. So when I heard that, I'm like, where did she get this emergency service from? Now, when you hear it, you're going to be like, this chick is absolutely retarded. Wait until you hear this shit.
Tablespoon of hydrogen peroxide, okay?
Oh, I don't know how that ended up skipping ahead, but let's listen to it now.
About to die, okay?
It's like those websites where you try to find people's phone numbers and...
Yeah, so I start talking to this girl and she's like, tablespoon of hydrogen peroxide, okay? Because that makes animals throw up. So I didn't...
Okay, right there. Now, this person that she talked to, after paying the money and filling out this long form to get this emergency service, like, hey, what happened to your cat? Now this lady, after hearing that the cat ate a Wellbutrin, tells her to give her cat a tablespoon of hydrogen peroxide to make it throw up. Now, I hear something like that, I'm going to start asking questions. I don't know about anybody else, but that's going to seem, I'm going to be like, hydrogen peroxide. Like, I cannot think of a single time where you should drink hydrogen peroxide. Let's have a little bit of common sense here. So, she hears that. Let's see what she does.
I didn't have it, but Amanda had it. Amanda's not home. I have to have the person downstairs come up, unlock her unit. I'm sifting through her cabinets. I get hydrogen peroxide and I give him a tablespoon, okay?
She gives the cat a table. Jesus, what is happening here? Okay. Does the cat survive? I guess is the next question that we should ask ourselves. Who knows?
Unlock her unit. I'm sifting through her cabinets. I get hydrogen peroxide and I give him a tablespoon, okay? And he is just doing flips around the apartment, all right? He is not throwing up. There's nothing about it. And time is passing and I'm like, oh my God. Like I'm freaking out because he's not throwing up. So I'm messaging this person, they ghost me. Completely ghost me. So then I start obviously sending them death threats because I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? You're an emergency veterinary service. I tell you that my animal is maybe poisoned and you're just ghosting me. They wrote me back literally like an hour later saying like, sorry, I had a family situation. I'm like, suing. Doesn't matter.
Okay, so now she's still like in distress here. She's like, man, I can't believe that like you had me do all that, my cat, this kind of screwed up, man. Like you ghosted me like that after telling me to basically poison my cat, right? So you end up finding out, she'll say it in a second, but she starts like passively talking back and forth to Tana, and Tana's like, where did you hear about this? And she just says real quick, she's like, I found it on like a forum or something like that. So this chick she types in emergency pet service on Google, right? She finds all these links, probably sees the links where people are asking the question, does anyone know where I can contact an emergency pet service, right? Those are links from like a site like Quora. Quora is like a forum site where people just ask random ass questions for other random ass people online to answer them. So she ends up finding just some random link, probably through a forum site like Quora, and now she completely entrusts this random link and whoever's on the other end of that thing to give her information on saving her cat after eating this Wellbutrin. That is just wild to me. Listen to it out the horse's mouth.
By that point, I'd already obviously called ASPCA. ASPCA told me to go to the animal hospital. I went to the animal hospital. They said, no, you need to go to the emergency room. So I took him to the emergency room and they take him back. They assess him, whatever. They come out and they tell me, you know what? He needs to spend the night. Why does he need to spend the night, you ask? Because he had a tablespoon of fucking hydrogen peroxide. Not because he had a 300 milligram Wellbutrin, okay? That woman, that stupid idiot fucking woman, and I won't name her by name because we're not bullying anymore, she gave me advice that you give that to a dog. Like, that's what makes a dog throw up. For cats, like, they were like, he can have, like, ulcers. Like, there's a lot of things that can happen, so we just want to monitor him. Guess how much money I spent for him to spend the night in the hospital that night?
More than $5,000?
$5,000.
God damn, dude. Like, so, I mean, let's give a round of applause to Brooke Schofield for... I mean, dude, you almost poisoned your cat. Like, you got to have a little more common sense in that. You can't just be, like, aimlessly floating through life and expecting everybody else to have the answers for you. Like, you have to think for yourself, at least a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? So, let's jump into a little bit of H3, right? We're going to jump into the first half of this H3 stuff. Now, remember I told you that they had the first celebrity poker tournament, and I had covered that in a previous video. I really think that Ethan has a little bit of a gambling problem. Now we're on to the second celebrity poker tournament, right? And I'm telling you, this gambling problem has now officially moved into phase 2. If you're asking me, I think that that's where we're going here. Because this guy, he's nonstop been talking about gambling since the first one. Now he's on the second one. And I'm telling you, the behavior of this guy, it seems like it's unraveling a little bit. Like, now, I already explained to you, he's getting in bed with some characters he said he'd never get in bed with since the first tournament. Now he's a little more warmed up to him. Starts having some drinks. spouting off some stuff, very questionable stuff, especially comparatively speaking to someone of Ethan's quote-unquote character, right? So let's start out with this nice little interview with him and Steiny, one of his new best friends. Him and the Nelk boys, man, after getting those bribes from Steve Will Do It, this guy is real chummy with them Nelk boys, I'll tell you.
My dad.
All right, Steiny, you were just telling me that you need Ethan here as an emotional support person. Tell me about this.
Yeah, so he's recently become one of my best friends.
Your best friend?
We're close. We were supposed to come out here together, but he faded me, so I want to put him on the spot right now. Just how
I have kids, bro. I have a life. He invited me on his private jet like I'm some hussy, dude.
I got
You think Ethan's a hussy? You heard it here first. Is that correct?
Is that okay? Is that a bad
He
word?
picks and chooses who he likes. We text every day. He calls me every night before bed. He's like, "Yo, how are you?" He checks up on me.
Now, see, obviously Steiny's joking around with this guy, right? But like you see the dynamic here that I'm talking about. Like they're real chummy with each other. Like. And even to the point to where, like, Ethan's busting Steiny's balls a little bit. You know, normally, people don't go ball busting like that unless they're real comfortable around you. You know, you don't just go making fun of acquaintances like that. You know, people don't just normally do that. So, before we get into, like, Ethan getting drunk and all this, that, and the other, I wanted to get into this magician. Because this magician, he's, like, one of the people, I think his name is like Vladimir Mortimer or some shit, like a real Harry Potter-esque name. You know, you cannot trust a guy like that. If you hanging around with a guy who sounds like he's someone from Harry Potter, you need to reassess your friend circle, because you cannot trust a guy who's got a name with the last name Mortimer. Okay? That's like the most evil sounding name I've ever fucking heard. Second to Ethan Klein. That's about it, you know? One more on the sauce. So this magician, I wanted to bring him up because he's one of the people there. Haley Hawk Tuah is one of the people there. Ethan, Bryce Hall, Steiny, you know, all these people. But they got this magician sitting next to Hawk Tuah, and he's kind of like trying to rizz her up the whole time, you know what I mean? So they'll be in the middle of like a hand. This guy will stop his whole thing to do a magic trick with this Haley Hawk Tuah chick. So I wanted to show you a little bit of that, because I thought this is hilarious, watching this guy try to rizz up this Hawk Tuah, dude. Watch this.
Can you help me with this?
We talked about this the other
Actually, no, he hasn't folded yet. I take that back. He's in the big blind, so we haven't even read his cards yet.
Oh, okay.
So he could have a good hand.
Hold that for me.
Oh, is he doing magic, dude?
Right now.
Huh?
What a fucking asshole.
What a fucking asshole, dude. I love Zach. Zach really doesn't like these magicians, dude. Like when I was like watching this, and this guy went to do he did a couple magic tricks throughout the whole thing. Every single time Zach was like, this guy's a fucking prick. I don't like him. I think Zach, I don't know. He might have his mom might have dated a magician back in the day. Maybe the guy broke her heart or something. I don't know, because he really, something about Zach, he does not like this fucking magician, dude. But watch this.
In the big blind, so we haven't even read his cards yet.
Oh, okay.
So he could have a good hand.
Hold that for me.
Up, up, ho, ho, right there. Look at that. That's sexual assault, brother. You cannot be grabbing Miss Haley Welch like that, my dude. You don't even know this chick. You want to do magic, you want to start grabbing her up on the wrist like that? Like, what are we doing here?
Oh, is he doing magic, dude?
Right now.
Huh?
What a fucking asshole.
Is he doing magic?
Uh-oh.
I love Zach. What a fucking
we gotta
asshole.
speed up the game.
Dude. All right. I don't know him, but I don't like him anymore.
I'm sweating right now.
The blinds move fast.
That could get back to him. Careful. You're in the same sphere.
I know. But it's like, we're on the fucking clock here, dude. Like,
Oh my god.
Wait, watch his technique. Is it good?
oh, I know what he's gonna do.
Watch
Tell
this.
us.
He's gonna make the road. Oh no, what is he? He's gonna light it on fire.
His time is up, dealer.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. All right, let's give a round of applause to the magician. So now, if you're just listening at home, basically what took place here was this guy like crumpled up a napkin, kind of made it look like a rose a little bit. He hands it to Haley, like I said, grabbing her all over the wrists and stuff like that, you know? Real creepy. That has her hold the lighter and light it. And then he takes the paper and he lights the paper on fire and he turns it into a rose, right? But if you watch close, he doesn't turn shit into nothing. All right, so I'm for those watching, for those lucky enough to watch, we have a nice little moment that we'll have together of ruining some magic. So let's check this out. This is insanely amateur right here, okay? I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so we can get like a good look at it, because you'll see this guy's like pulling the rose out of his back pocket. He's like, oh look, here you go, Haley. Can we make fuck now? You know what I mean? Watch this.
Oh my God.
He's gonna make the rose.
Look, he's getting it out of his back pocket.
He's gonna light it on fire.
Time is up, dealer.
Oh, look at that. You can see it in his hand. Look at real close. We're going to see it in his hand. He's going to pull it out. As soon as that thing lights on fire, you're going to see the rose in his other hand.
Light it on fire.
Time is up, dealer.
You see it? Oh, there you go. Look at that. And the crowd goes wild. You know what I mean? That's some good shit right there. So I thought that was funny because this guy, he's like really trying hard to rizz up Miss Welch here. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going good for him because she doesn't even like know this guy exists. Like I said, we'll get back to Ethan in a second. Ethan Klein. I don't know if that name sticks. Anyway, we'll get back to Ethan in a second, but I want to show you how she ices this magician. This shit is so funny. So she wins a hand, right? And everybody's like, yeah, Haley, dude, you did it. You know, it's awesome. You're new to being famous, like, and you won this poker hand. Isn't that amazing? You know what I mean? It's so great. You can hawk Tuah all over the pot that you just won. So Ethan, he goes in there. He's like, high five, man. You did it. This is awesome. Then the magician goes to get a high five because, like I said, he's trying to rizz her up with magic tricks the whole nine. And she ices the hell out of him. And this is priceless.
Honey, I don't care. I came here in a jet.
Instant.
Ooh, look at how happy she is. She is so happy. She's like, I'm a hawk Tuah on somebody tonight, boy. She just won like $50,000, you know what I mean, in a pot. All Monopoly money because they don't win any of the stuff that they're making off these hands right now. So, but she's very excited nonetheless. You know, it's a very, very exciting moment.
Replay.
That's what I'm doing.
Wow, they're controlling
Ethan
Steiny
with the high five. Yes.
Everyone's cheering against him.
And completely iced by fucking hawk Tuah. Sorry, Vladimir. You're getting iced, man. Let's watch that one more time, dude. I'm happy that they slowed it down for me. I don't have to do that work myself. Watch this again. I love this guy getting iced like this. This is hilarious.
I came here in a jet.
Instant replay.
That's what I'm doing.
Wow, they're controlling Steiny now.
Everyone's cheering against him.
Bam. See, I mean, look at that right there. So I tell you, no amount of magic tricks in the world is going to make it to where like this girl notices you, buddy. So, I mean, as my one and only encounter with this Mortimer guy, hopefully I won't have too many more of those. So now Hila's about to enter the game. You know what I mean? I don't think she was invited to the main table right away, but then after a couple people get eliminated, they start swapping out players. Now watch Ethan. He's about to get very excited that his wife is back in the game.
No, it wasn't. This is the second time I've ever watched poker, only for the Kleins. This is now my Super
Look
Bowl.
at Ethan.
And how is the banter with everyone? I just got here.
So exciting, dude.
How we feel about the band so far, everybody?
Look at how excited Ethan is. He's like, yeah, dude, wifey's coming to play. Now here's something I wanted to bring up. This is insane right here. Hila shows up. She's just got like a regular t-shirt with the bedazzled, it says hot mom on it, right? And then she's got like a like one of those Ed Hardy style like trucker caps on. And then she's got like some tube jeans, you know, the ones that just go straight down. It's like they, I don't know, like it's like they want to be like the 70s, but they can't or something. I don't know. Those jeans need to make up their mind. And then underneath the jeans, if you look real close, she's got like, looks like she's wearing maybe like board shorts or something underneath her jeans, and she's got the string coming out the front. You know, some girls make that look very, very sexy, but Hila not so much. Let's remind you, oh, and she's got the Steve Will Do It Chanel bag. You cannot beat that, dude. So she thinks she's got it going on fleek. Aside from that bag, what you have here is a very mediocre look. And I wanted to bring this up because these two own a fashion company together. Like, she shows up looking like she just walked off the streets of Venice, and this guy showed up like he just rolled out of bed. T-shirt, cargo shorts, Crocs, and socks. Like, you know what I mean? So this is not good stuff here, you know? And this is kind of where I want you guys to make a little bit of a note. We're going to do a little bit of foreshadowing for some other Ethan Klein stuff that we're going to talk about a little later in the episode. Now, Dwight Howard's there. I don't know too much about basketball. I'm not a big basketball guy. But Dwight Howard is like an NBA legend. 6'9", tall as fuck, black as hell, basketball superstar. Like, you cannot beat that. This guy is a real man's man. And I'm sure he could do a lot of awesome things in his career. Right now, the thing that he's focusing on is his podcast. So he's doing a lot of networking during this event. Rightfully so. I mean, I'd be networking too if I was over there. I don't know how many people would want to get on a podcast like this, but, you know, guy can, you know, you network. That's just something you do. You in business, you network. So Dwight Howard right now, he's networking with the clients. Check this out.
Dan to say hi to Dan for me. Okay, thank you. Hello. Tell Dan to fix Bobby. I did.
Is it audio
I straightened him out.
or is it video? Yo, this drink lady hates me.
You were in video.
Yeah. I'll take a water too, please.
Very much.
It's the H3 podcast.
H3? What's happening?
I promise I want to
The big one's 30.
Shout out to you.
All right, so there's kind of a lot of stuff going on there, right? But if you listen closely, you can hear Ethan. He's like, oh, you got audio, you got video. Hila's over there. It's called the H3 podcast. This the H3. Our show is the H3 podcast, you know? So we can be on your show, you can be on our show, you know, we can do it together. She has a very nasally voice. I don't know. It's something about her voice. It's kind of crazy to me. It almost sounds fake. Everything about her sounds fake. You know what I mean? So they're doing some good old-fashioned networking. Now, like I said, this is a little bit of foreshadowing for later. I want you to hold on to that. I want you to hold on to that Dwight Howard situation. So now, remember I was telling you earlier, Ethan, he gets drunk as hell during this live stream. He's like really letting it loose. Now, he ends up getting kicked out at this point in the time code that we're about to check out. By this time, he's eliminated. Hila's still in once again, you know, really showing everybody who the man of the house actually is. You know, last time she took second. This time, Ethan's getting knocked out again. She's still at the table, running it to cash, baby. You already know what the shit is. So now Hila's sitting here running the table. Ethan's back in the announcer booth. Ethan's had one too many shots in him, and he's feeling a little good. So now let's start listening in on what Ethan starts talking about in this announcer booth. Check this out.
Sonia, I love you. Don't take it personally, buddy.
What is it?
You got Quaaludes or what?
No.
Okay.
What the fuck? So now you see Ethan, he's real drunk. You know, anyone who's, you know, old enough to drink, of course, you know, keep it legal around here. Anyone who's old enough to drink knows that every now and then you come across a party guy, you know, when you're drinking, that as soon as that person gets a couple drinks in them, they're going to take everything and anything under the sun. You could bring that motherfucker bath salts and he's all in. You know what I mean? He start gnawing people's faces off before you guys even exit the bar. So now this is kind of, I bring that up because it's kind of like the feeling that I'm getting listening to Ethan in this announcer booth with Steiny. You know, Ethan's nice and drunk, nice and lubricated, got a good amount of drinks in him. Starts asking Steiny about some drugs, you know what I mean? So let's listen to Ethan once again kind of lose himself here.
Love you. Don't take it personally, buddy.
What is it?
You got Quaaludes or what?
No.
Okay. Have you ever taken Quaaludes?
I've taken Whippets one time.
You have?
Yeah.
Where do you
So you listen now, Ethan, he's like, you got any Quaaludes? And Steiny is like, no, dude. Like, you can hear Steiny right away. He's like, what the fuck, dude? We're live. What are you doing? We're live right now. Come on, man. Act like you've been here before. So Ethan, he's like, oh, you don't have any Quaaludes, man. He's like, you ever done Quaaludes before? And now Steiny, he's like, I never done Quaaludes. You know, they've only been extinct for like 30 plus years. So no, I've never done Quaaludes before. Sorry, Ethan. But he wants to, be nice to Ethan. So he's like, I have done whippets before. Now Ethan gets real excited. He's, because Ethan, he's talked about having like a pill problem in the past. But like Ethan's not like some cool guy. Like, you know what I mean? He's not some dude who was like partying and like really getting in the thick of it. You know what I mean? He strikes me as more of a guy that like rolled his ankle once and his doctor was like, here are some Percocets, take these sparingly for the pain. And then he went a little off the rails with them. So then he started doing like, I don't know, generic Percocets or something on the street. You know what I mean? But he doesn't strike me as like the kind of guy who was really in the depths of addiction. You know what I mean? He's not that dude. And you're seeing that right here when he's talking to Steiny. Steiny's talking about whippets. Like, if you're a teenager, whippets is like not something that's like crazy out the realm of reality. Like teenagers, college kids, you might stumble across a party or two where people are doing whippets. You know what I mean? You don't have to be doing them every day. You can't be fucking your life up, but it's not crazy unheard of to hear of like a teenager or a college kid doing a couple whippets from time to time. But Ethan hears this. He gets real. He's like, holy shit, man, you're cool as fuck. Listen.
How do you even get those? I've always wondered what it is like.
I did it at Harvard.
Harvard, the university.
I swear to God, the students were like, yo, you can try this.
Is it fun?
Right,
oh, yeah, it's fun. Fuck, I gotta get some Quaaludes.
So now you hear Ethan. Ethan is wasted. You hear him. He's so drunk that he forgot what they were even talking about. You know what I mean? Like, the Ethan thinks they're still talking about Quaaludes. Steiny's like, dude, Quaaludes? What are you talking about, man? So this is like, right here, you're seeing that like Ethan's character is not as strong as he claims it to be. You know what I mean? Like, if you inhibit this guy, even the slightest, he's almost like completely willing to debase himself. And this is just at like a poker tournament, Imagine you get this guy in a room with like some marketing execs and you start throwing numbers and money around. Imagine what he's willing to do then. You know what I mean? Like right now, what he's talking about is just having a good time. Like, you know what I mean? Now throw some dollars into the mix and really watch this guy dance and twirl for the money. You know what I mean? Like that's my suspicion on Ethan. Now watch this. This is just, we're going to bring it back to the funny a little bit. This is hilarious. So RayJay is here at the tournament, and now RayJay's finally getting over to the main table. And once again, like I said, Ethan's in the announcer booth, but Hila's still at the table. RayJay starts making the rounds. He gets real touchy with everybody at the table. You see where I'm going with this, right? So let's watch this.
It's mad. It's like
watch RayJay come out the corner, dude, like a little creep, dude. This shit is so funny. Watch him.
The tightest player I've ever played against.
Which is weird. You wouldn't think that, right?
That's
but
what
you
I'm saying.
mentioned that when you were at the table. Yeah. It's,
Look at that.
So
now RayJay, he's creeped out of the corner. He's grabbing like basketball players' shoulders, kissing them on the back of their necks. Like, you know what I mean? Every girl that he sees, he's touching them, grabbing them. He's getting real, real chummy, real touchy with a lot of these people. I'm not going to lie. It is RayJay. I mean, this guy had sex with Kim Kardashian. Like, what do you know what I mean? That's cool as fuck. So maybe he can get away with that. I don't know. But you see him at the table. He's getting touchy with everybody. And Ethan's paying attention to this. Okay?
RayJay's back.
What is God?
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
400K to call.
Is he making it? What is he doing?
Oh.
Is he for real right now?
Well, he told us he's on the market.
Oh! RayJay, you can't be doing that, bro. That's sexual assault, brother. God damn. So many cases coming out of this poker tournament, man. This shit is live. Man, we got the magician grabbing up on Tuah. We got RayJay kissing everybody's hand at the table. Guy, girl, whoever, it doesn't matter. Like, we're going to start seeing some lawsuits out of this or what?
Is he trying? Oh my God, he's kissing the hand. This man is turning it on. He's actually had sex with Kim Kardashian.
See, I told you. RayJay is the man, dude. That's the only reason everybody's letting him get away with all of this. Like, having sex with Kim Kardashian is just about as cool as it gets. I mean, if that's not cool, I don't know what is. So, I mean, obviously, everybody is like okay with it. You know what I mean? That's legitimately probably what's actually going through everybody's mind. Like when he kissed that blonde girl's hand, you know, normally she would be like, oh, get away from me, you know, and pull her hand back. He grabbed her hand and she probably in her mind was like, well, I mean, he did have sex with Kim Kardashian, so you know what I mean? And then she lets him kiss her hand. That's how these things work. So this guy is cool as fuck. He's going to be doing, you know, whatever he wants. But remember, Ethan still has in the back of his mind, he's like, oh, wait, my wife is there, you know? So watch this.
No, he's a lucky guy. He's a very lucky guy. We can all agree upon that, right?
I know about 200. I'm giving everybody props. I think it's very pretty.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, Ray, chill the fuck out. Back up.
Uh-oh, now he's moved on to Hila. Look at this. Watch. He's about to go in and give Hila the wettest smooch on her cheek, and Ethan does not like this.
I think it's very pretty.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, Ray, chill the fuck out. Back up. Back up.
Whoa,
Back
who's he going
up,
for
Ray.
here?
Back up, Ray.
Uh-oh, who's he going for there? Oh, and back to
And then he goes back to the blonde girl, dude. He don't give a crap about your wife, dude. Let's back it up, Ethan. This is you talking about the same guy who hooked up with Kim K, bro. He don't want Hila, bro. He needs a girl with a little more fashion sense. If you get what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I don't know if that was that too deep of a cut. I mean, you know what I mean. Kim's a fashion icon. You know what I mean. Hila could only wish to be what Kim is. So I want to end this little segment on this note right here. Remember I told you Ethan and Steiny are getting real chummy. Ethan's loving to get in bed with the untouchables, as you know. These were people that he would never hang out with, but now he's getting comfortable enough to bust balls with these people. So he ends up trying to get real chummy with Steiny and poke like some real heavy jabs at him. Steiny ends up putting him in his place. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm here for it. This almost made me like a fan of Steiny. You know what I mean? Listen to this.
Oh yeah, good luck all.
You guys want to gamble after this? Or you got to go to sleep?
They have real life jobs.
You want to front them?
What do I got?
Is that right? You guys have real life jobs?
They have real life jobs.
So now you hear Ethan, he's like starting to like get the Vegas fever. You know what I mean? Like now he's like, oh, fuck the kids, fuck the babysitters. You know what I mean? We're in Vegas. He's like, what are you guys doing after this? You know, you ever get drunk with someone like that? It's the end of the night. They're like, what do you guys do? Let's go to Waffle House. You know, well, the liquor store. We can go to the liquor store. So now Ethan's kind of like in that mode. He's like, we don't have to end the night right now. You know, we don't have to do that. So he says that, and Steiny's like, dude, these two guys, like, and the crew back here, like, they all got jobs. They got to actually wake up in the morning. Like, they're not like us. You know what I mean? They not like us. They got stuff to do in the morning. And now Ethan, he's like, whoa, what are you saying? I'm a regular guy too, right? You know, so now listen to this back and forth, because this is going to lead into something real nice. Watch.
Jobs.
You want to front them?
What do I got?
Is that right? You guys have real life jobs?
They have real life jobs.
I'm gonna need some money.
Sorry, H3 is learning what it's like to be a real human being.
I've had a real job unlike you, Steiny.
I have.
I worked a desk job for 5 years.
Whoa, what the fuck is that?
Sometimes I don't know how fucking cringy and ridiculous I sound.
So listen to Ethan here. So now Steiny, he makes that comment. These guys are actual people. You know, they're not mindless influencers like we are. They got jobs. Now Ethan, he takes offense to that. He wants to get defensive. He's like, I'll have you know, Steiny, that I've actually worked a 9-to-5, unlike you. You know what I mean? So, and not only that, I'll have you know that I did it for 5 years, okay? 5 years I spent at a desk job. Like, not every guy can hack that, you know? All these construction workers, steel millers, you know, guys, they couldn't hack the shit that I'm doing. 5 years I put into this 9-to-5 workforce. What do you have to show for that, Steiny? I'll tell you right now, Steiny has been working all his life pretty much. He's about to school Ethan with some knowledge that Ethan was not expecting. Take a listen to this.
Real human being.
I've had a real job unlike you, Steiny.
I have.
I worked a desk job for 5 years.
I worked as a busser, bus back.
Wow, I did. Whoa.
I had a job all of high school, all of college.
So this is great, dude. So now this isn't even the best part yet. This isn't even the sting, the burn that I was telling you guys about. But this is pretty good still. So now Steiny, he's really embarrassing Ethan on this live stream. You know, Ethan thought he had him and thought that he was going to make Steiny look like a schmuck. Steiny's like, dude, 5 years. Okay, you put 5 years in. I was a busboy. I was a bar back. I worked my way through high school, worked my way through college. I pretty much worked my entire life until I became a Nelka boy. So, you know, the shit wasn't sweet for me my whole life. You know, I might have had it good, but I still had to work, you know? So right then and there, he's put Ethan in his place. Nighty night, Ethan. Pack it up and just end it right there. Ethan doesn't. Ethan still wants to try to come out on top of this, right? Ends up making himself look like a total asshole. Listen to this.
I did fucking clerk work.
What's your net worth?
Not as much as you.
What's your net worth? That right there, okay. That right there tells you how insecure Ethan is, right? What's your net worth? That's his big blow to Steiny. Now listen to how Steiny handles it.
Back.
Wow, I did. Whoa.
I had a job all of high school, all of college.
Now.
I did fucking clerk work.
What's your net worth?
Not as much as you.
Probably not.
Was that your biggest flex? What's your net worth? You dropped that with the family?
I just want to know.
What are you pushing, 50?
Oh my God, dude. I love that. Can we just let's listen back to that one more time. I love that. Steiny's like, is that your biggest flex? Like, what are you fucking pushing 50? You coming at me with that? Listen to this one more time, please.
What's your net worth?
Not as much as you.
Probably not.
Was that your biggest flex? What's your net worth? You dropped that with the family?
I just want to know.
What are you pushing, 50?
Get him, dude. Like, that shit is so funny to me, dude. I love that. How Steiny is just coming at him. Like, what are you pushing, 50, dude? Like, that is so classic to me, dude. I simply couldn't have said it better myself. You know what I mean? So on that note, we're going to take a little bit of a smoke break. And then we're going to get into some of the jamokes afterwards. We still got a smidge of Haley Welch to talk about. And we got Matt Rife on Kill Tony. All that and a little bit more H3 coming up. So let's talk about, while we smoke this, let's get this Hawk Tuah out the way. Did you guys know that this girl's got a podcast coming out? I couldn't believe it. I was like, what's happening here? You know, we're really stretching that 15 minutes of fame, if you ask me. So let's check this out. She's got this podcast supposed to come out September 10th. This episode will be out after that, so it'll be up if you want to leave this episode and watch it, which I do not suggest you do. But anyway, says here, internet sensation Haley Welch, also known as the Hawk Tuah girl, signed with Jake Paul's company Better to launch her own podcast. Now, I thought this was very interesting because she was getting offers from like everybody. She was getting offers from Bill Maher. You guys remember that? Remember when we ended up covering that episode when she was on with Bill Maher? Bill Maher was like really creeping her out. He's like, you got that Hawk Tuah shit from learning porn. You're a whore. You know what I mean? Then he's like, hey, you want to start a podcast on my network? You know what I mean? Just in case, you know, you could be a sex therapist, you know, and you got to be serious. You're going to be talking about sucking pee-pees, you got to be serious. So, I thought it was very surprising. Even Whitney Cummings, she was on Whitney Cummings' podcast. Whitney's like talking about trying to make this girl like the next big star in comedy. You know what I mean? Wants to bring her on stage and stuff. All very odd, So it says here, Miss Welch's quotes right here say, "My show will have a little bit of everything. Great guests, laughs, relationship pointers, and, of course, some down-home Southern charm." I could only imagine how those words came out of her mouth. So that's just like insane to me. And you better believe that when those episodes drop, we'll be watching just in case. You never know what kind of jamokes we're going to end up finding. She might end up being a jamoke herself. Who knows? So let's finish out these tunes and finish out this J and get right back into it. I like that. I like that tune. I almost don't even want to shut it off. So let's get into these next set of time codes here. I want to go back to the H3 show. Actually, before we get into H3, let's break it up a little bit. Let's check out this Kill Tony and Matt Rife time codes. This was actually kind of fun. So you guys know every time we end up talking about Kill Tony, one of the first things I always bring up is Tony's intros. You know what I mean? He has like the cheesiest intros on the market. You know what I mean? Comes out, looks like he's wafted farts in his face. He's like, trying to get the crowd to love him. He does this with his hands. Remember last time I told you he did that lame intro? He's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the best fucking night of your life," And then he goes to the other mic, picks it up, he goes, "Yippee!" Like, all right, Tony, let's calm down. And then the vest. I always get a kick of reviewing Tony's vest. You know what I mean? It's very nice vest that he ends up having, and I get very jealous because I don't know where to find these goddamn things. So, I mean, it's always nice to get a good eye for his vest so that I can review them from time to time. But I wanted to show you this episode with Matt Rife and a couple of these time codes. So they have this bucket pool. They pull this guy's name out the bucket. Carlos, I think, was his name. And I'll tell you, this guy, his voice is going to throw you off. It sounds fake. It sounds like when somebody tries to make their voice deep and they do it like this, and you could tell, like, when they're talking that their voice is, like, clearly not like that when they're talking. He kind of almost has a voice like that. But I don't know if it's real or not. People in the Kill Tony subreddit roasting the fuck out of this guy for his voice. But that's not why we're here. I wanted to bring up him making fun of Tony. This guy ends up demolishing Tony, and I'm here for every second of it. Remember, I'm a big fan of Tony's intros. Now, watch this guy, because this guy apparently is a big fan of Tony's intros as well.
We'll see how it goes on. Yeah. Good to see you. You're an asshole too. You gave me a fake fist bump at the little boy. I would love to get the fist bump back.
You
yes.
talking to me?
Yeah, you faggot.
How did I?
Oh, calling fucking Tony a faggot.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
What are you saying? What type of fake fist bump? What do you mean?
So it was bottom of the barrel, and I was front stage, and you did the wait. Hold up. I've been meaning to do this.
Oh, wait until you see this. This is so rich. You could have scrapped the entire episode and just left this part right here. It probably would have got 20 million views. This is one of the greatest things. I love seeing Tony get shit on, because normally people from the bucket pools, they shit on Tony. He cuts it out the episode. I don't have the resources on me now, but there's a very good episode of Red Bar where they talk about just that. And they end up having the guy call in on the show, and he explains how his whole set was roasting Tony. Red Band ended up cutting that shit out under Tony's guise. So normally these things don't make it in the show. So when I saw this guy lacing into Tony, and he's a light one, but it's still very good. I love it. I love every second of it. Watch this.
Oh, God. Wait, what are you about to do? Uh-huh.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
That's pretty Javier, stick with the point.
Yeah.
What?
Look, Tony getting pissed off. Stick with the point. What were you just talking about? It's annoying me. Now watch, I'm going to zoom in on Javier a little bit so that we can give him a little bit of his, a little bit of his credit. I will be muting that cough. But yeah, let's watch this guy because I love how he's making fun of Tony, putting in the dances and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Everybody's always making fun of Tony for being gay.
What are you about to do? Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yes. That's pretty Javier, stick with the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very nice. Now, I love seeing that because that's exactly how I picture Tony's intros. Every single time Tony comes out, that's what it looks like to me. You know what I mean? And you know, judging by the way people's reactions are to these videos that I do on Tony, seems like I'm the only one. So, just so you guys can like at least sympathize with me a little bit. You know what I mean? That's how I view Tony's intros. So, seeing this guy, it was like a breath of fresh air to me. You know what I mean?
What do you mean fake fist bump?
I was going to give you a fist bump, and then you were like, I'm good. Yeah.
Right. Because I didn't fist bump anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get a fist bump now? Can I get it back, Tony?
Are you going to fart if I do it?
Can you get the fist bump back, Tony?
Maybe.
Here you go, Javier. Here's
I
your
appreciate
fist
you,
bump.
man.
There you go.
Look at that. Now Tony finally gives this guy the fist bump. But check this out. Look, Matt Rife is fucking shook right now, dude. He knows that both of those fists have been inside of at least one asshole tonight. You know what I mean? So Matt is very scared. He's like, I don't want either of these hands to touch me right now. So I'm going to make sure I steer very clear of that, which we love. Matt Rife, of course, good old Matt Rife. You guys know Netflix ended up actually paying this asshole a bunch of money to do a crowd work special? Am I the only one that finds that a little weird? Like, crowd work specials, that's like something comics release on YouTube. You know what I mean? You could get paid the ad shekel revenue off of that. But you don't just, like, get a Netflix deal for a crowd work special. What is this guy, Dave Chappelle? Like, you know what I mean? So I thought that was a little odd. Well, we might dig into that a little later. But I wanted to, before we leave Kill Tony and go back to Ethan, I wanted to check out this breakdown from William Montgomery. Everybody knows William. Normally he has this little shtick, right? Where he's like yelling at the crowd, yelling at the guests and stuff like that. And that's normally just his thing, you know? So a lot of times if people see it out of context, then it might seem like he's just freaking out. But every now and then he actually is freaking out. And when he does those freakouts, I cover it on the show. You know what I mean? Because all the other shtick, it's boring and it's annoying. You know, yelling is not funny. Just because you yell something does not make it funny. Imagine if I did this whole show and I was yelling the entire time. Like, it doesn't make it any more funny. You know, I'm barely doing a good job of making it funny. Way too many sound bites, you know, all that shit. So, but this time, William's like actually bugging out here. Watch this.
Deed in the
God, I messed that up. I messed that story up in front of you, man.
There's no way I would have known.
You know,
it was great.
Willie.
Now you saw there's the shtick. That's the shtick of it, right? You could tell he's joking, even though he's yelling and he seems upset with himself. Like, you can tell he's joking. This is where it's about to change.
William has the record for all-time appearances on this show, interviews on this show, everything. The first living member of the Kill Tony Hall of Fame. Well, no, that's not true. Michael was alive when he got it.
Yeah, and any of these keyboard warriors who think this fucking shit is easy, this shit is not fucking easy. And any of you idiots, they think you can do it. Do you like to critique me? Any of you who think you can do this, never! Never!
Okay, what the fuck, dude? Like, this guy is like really letting these internet people get to him. Like, if I acted like that for every negative comment that I got, I'd be acting like that 24 hours a day. Dude, you gotta think. My YouTube comment section is like the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan. And instead of like a bunch of random American white dudes storming the beach in Normandy getting shot up, it's just me. I'm the only one. You know what I mean? So you have to learn how to have a thick skin, man. You can't bring that stuff out into the public eye, dude. You got to just keep doing you and keep it pushing, you know? But William, it seems like these guys like actually got to this guy. Watch this breakdown one more time. This is not the shtick. Remember, I showed you what the shtick was just a minute ago. Watch this.
Think this fucking shit is easy. This shit is not fucking easy. And any of you idiots that think you can do it, that you like to critique me, any of you who think you can do this, never, never. You have no idea what it takes. Do you know how long it took me to write the 101 Dalmatians joke? Took me 5 fucking hours yesterday, dude.
See, now there I will give William a little credit for trying to save that awkward moment. Because you can see at the last part, he's like, it took me 5 hours to write that Dalmatians joke. He's trying to like save that moment because he knows he like really put his heart on his sleeve in that one very moment right there, which we love. Thank you, William. Just want to give a round of applause to William Montgomery and the Kill Tony crew. Oh, wait, I forgot to show you Tony's vest. Look. Gay as fuck. Back to the show. So now I want to get back to the Ethan Klein stuff, right? Now I showed you the poker tournament, real questionable behavior after having a couple drinks. You know what I mean? You get this guy a couple vodka tonics and like you could really get him to do your bidding. You know what I mean? I could only imagine the stuff that his sponsors like ask him to not say on the air and shit like that, because it seems very obvious that this guy is willing to do anything for a little bit of change. You know, a couple drinks hit his system. He's completely changing who he is. You know, so this questionable behavior is seems like it's going to keep being an ongoing thing for him. But what I really wanted to talk about in this one is this whole Bryce Hall, right? Remember I told you he's getting in bed with Steiny. Now he's getting a lot of flack from his fans for getting in the good graces of Bryce Hall. I guess Hila and Ethan were talking to Bryce a lot, getting real chummy with him during the game at the poker tournament, right? So naturally, they're going to try to defend themselves instead of just saying, you know what, like we were like that, but now we're changing. Or like now, we're going to become gambling addicts. Just tell us the truth, goddammit. I don't know where I'm going with this. Let's watch the clip.
I genuinely don't know.
I mean, listen, if I'm Bryce Hall and MAGA's like, here's $2 million to like pretend that you're like a die-cord MAGA, I'd be like, get that bag, son.
Right.
Also, I'm in California. You know, well, he's not just in California, his audience, but like,
Well, what do you mean?
So, oh, look, watch. Right there, I told you, this guy, you inhibit him just the slightest, and he'll debase himself. You give him a little bit of money, and he will debase himself. This seems to be like a theme with him, right? So now he's even talking about Bryce and like defending being friends with Bryce, and he's like, man, if I was Bryce and MAGA came to me and was like, we're going to give you a bunch of money to, be a MAGA supporter publicly, I'd go and get that bag too. It's like he might as well under his breath be saying like, if my fan base was cool with it, I'd do it right now. So now he says this, and even his own wife is kind of like, wait, what the fuck are you saying right now? Like, listen to this one more time. This is kind of funny. I almost forgot about Hila's reaction to this. Like, you can't make this up. Even she, the evil witch herself, is like, wait, what?
You're right, I don't know.
It doesn't matter, honestly.
I genuinely don't know.
I mean, listen, if I'm Bryce Hall and MAGA's like, here's $2 million to like pretend that you're like a die-cord MAGA, I'd be like, get that bag, son.
Right.
Also, I'm in California. Well, he's not just in California, his audience, but like,
Well, what do you mean? I'm sure you could get the deal if you wanted.
As you
it's
know,
not
he endorsed me
compatible. Let's say that it's not a compatible.
Full-throated.
What are you saying?
I can't just.
Even Hila's like, what exactly is going on in your mind right now? Because I'm not even following you, and usually I'm the one pulling all the strings. So I tend to be ahead of these things. Like, what are you saying right now? You know, because it seems to me like you're just saying the only reason that you're not doing what Bryce is doing is because you're a fake ass bitch and your fans would get pissed. That's what it sounds like to me. I mean, and it probably sounds like that to Hila. You know, if you look at Hila's face right now, she looks like she's ready to call Dwight Howard. You know what I mean? Now, it's a very, very crazy situation we got going on here. So, obviously, Ethan's a little on the ropes right now. He's like, damn, even my wife is like kind of coming at me, dude. Like, I don't know what to do here. Let's see how he tries to squirm his way out of this.
I can't be like, hey guys, I'm MAGA. Like that would be obviously insane.
Like it goes naturally
for him. He's like, yeah,
I mean,
okay,
he might
whatever.
be though. I don't know. He might
I think he
actually
probably
be.
was like, probably Republican leaning, and then they're like, hey, do you want $2 million to wear a MAGA hat? And he's like, fuck yeah, I do. You know, that TikTok revenue ain't what it used to be, son.
Okay, so it's pretty obvious to me that this guy would gladly sell his soul for that cash if only his fans were okay with it. I mean, which that should not be the deciding factor. It should be you who is like, it doesn't align with my moral standards. The fans, I'm happy that they support me, but at the end of the day, my moral compass is what guides me. You know what I mean? Instead, Ethan's like, well, I can't do that. That'd be like influencer suicide, man. Like what, you know what that would do in my career? But now watch, we start getting into some real unhinged behavior right here. They end up getting this super chat from this user who's like just recently broke up with his ex-girlfriend, right? And this guy uses that super chat to send this girl like a message. Like, hey, please come home. You know what I mean? Right there, it's a little bit of a shifty situation. Like if I was the producers, I might not have even read that one out loud. You know, because you don't know the situation. This guy could be like a stalker. So you have to think about this. So let's check this out. I wanted to show you guys them getting this super chat right here. And it gets weird.
Wow.
Gavin says, can you guys ask my love, Kara, to come? Oh, God, this fucking this platform is so dog shit. Okay. Come back home. I love and miss her so much and can't enjoy anything without her right now. And I hope she's watching this. Jesus, man.
Kara,
you sure you want to do that?
Where'd
through
you
me?
go?
Okay, so obviously Ethan is half retarded, so I'll read it back to you guys. This guy, he spent $100 to tell them, can you guys ask my love Kara to come back home? I love and miss her so much and can't enjoy anything without her right now. And I hope she is watching this. Right there, like I said, you have to be very wary of a message like this. This could be a myriad of situations. You do not know what's happening here. He could actually be in distress, or he could be a stalker. You know what I mean? This girl could have like filed a restraining order on this guy, and you guys are like reading this shit out loud. It doesn't even stop there, dude. Like, you think, okay, reading it out loud, that's kind of bad enough, right? I mean, it's not the craziest thing, but I'll allow it. You know what I mean? They try to get this guy to fucking call in. Listen to this, dude. This is wild.
Cringe, bro.
I'm sorry.
She's not answering.
Because if she's just like, they hung out a few times, maybe went on a couple of dates, and she's just ghosting him.
What happened before she stopped answering?
Yeah, can we get Gavin? Can we talk to Gavin?
Can we just talk to you, bro?
Do you want to call?
Gavin, please call in. Let's do this.
She's a little big.
My boy Gavin is down bad.
Gavin, send me a DM on Instagram if you can. Maybe we can have a combo all together.
So right there, this is very unhinged behavior. And Olivia, you know, I feel bad for her because she's only got like a couple brain cells. And she uses them to like, you know, devote herself to Ethan and whatever dumbass idea that he has in his fucking brain. So she's of course going with it, you know, Gavin, send me a DM, bro. We gonna get this thing popping, you know. She does a little thing in the camera. Gavin, call in, you know, we love you, mommy, or whatever she says. I don't know. So now obviously these things don't happen right away. You know, they got to logistically set this thing up. They got to send him a Skype request. He's got to accept the Skype request. Oh, let me get the number. Let me get the password to get in the meeting, whatever. So while they're setting all this up, they end up going back to the Bryce Hall, you know, type talk, you know, like, so Ethan, he was just kind of like defending being friends with Bryce Hall, defending being friends with people like Steiny, basically saying like, we can coexist with Republicans, right? And remember how I told you it's kind of fake of him to be like, well, I would be doing the same thing with as Bryce Hall if like it was compatible. You know, it's just not compatible with like my fan base right now. Very fake. I don't like that. So now he just got done talking about coexisting with Republicans. Now we're going to hear him talk about a post that Elon Musk had put up, who's a Republican, and listen to the way he talks about this guy.
Elon Musk liked and reposted. He is so fucking embarrassing.
He's so gone.
We
dude.
have to agree. I think
He's so gone.
We have to all agree to stop using Twitter.
But is this even the same episode? I thought you were just talking about coexisting with like Trump supporters and stuff like that. Like if you can't see on the screen, Ethan's very upset right now because Elon reposted this. It's Vitali talking about how he used to not be a Trump supporter, now he is a Trump supporter. So Ethan's getting very upset over this, you know? And listen to the way he talks about Papa Musk. This is not good.
We have to agree. I think
He's so gone.
We have to all agree to stop using Twitter. We have to stop using this insane platform.
I know.
I've been saying, bro. I've been saying it.
I have so many ideas, though.
There you go. I love that. That whole Olivia, I got so many ideas. You ever see Olivia's Twitter page? Like, picture one of the girls from Clueless or like the girl from Legally Blonde. Picture like if they had Twitter accounts, because both of those movies came out before Twitter was even a thought. Now picture if either of those characters from those movies had Twitter accounts. That's Olivia's Twitter account. It's just like aimless thoughts. Like if she has like a thought in her head, she's like, I gotta tweet that shit. That shit's about to be fire. It's not. So it's you got ideas, you know what I mean? But you need to be jotting them shit down in a book somewhere and then throwing the book out, burning the trash can, then starting all over. You know what I mean? You don't need to be publicizing that. Listen to this guy's crew. They don't agree with him. They don't want to give up Twitter. Listen to what Love says about his Twitter antics. Listen to this.
I can't do it.
What about Threads?
I know. It's just different.
It's not the same. I know.
Yeah, it's not the same.
I feel like I'm using it for good. Yesterday I replied to...
Yeah, we're fighting the bad.
Yeah.
Listen to that. Now, this is funny as hell to me. Now, Love, he's like, I feel like I'm using it for good. I'm doing it for good. I don't have a good Love accent. I can't do that. I got to stop appropriating everybody. I'm sorry. So now Love is like, he's like, I'm using it for good, right? And AB's even backing him. He's like, yeah, man, we're fighting the good fight. Listen to how Love is using Twitter to fight the good fight for, I don't know, social justice or something like that. Listen to this.
Like, I'm using it for good. Yesterday I replied to...
Yeah, we're fighting the bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see what Love
to...
did yesterday?
Yeah.
Say what?
I replied to Dr. Disrespect and asked if it was...
Oh, that's true.
Sexting minors. Or I said didn't use sex with minors, and I go...
Listen to that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Love got him. If it wasn't for Love, dude, Dr. Disrespect would still be out there in the world, running amok. You know what I mean? Sexting minors and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So this guy... These guys are delusional as hell. He's saying that he's using Twitter for good, and Ethan, of course, how you using it for good, man? What are you doing? You like starting like a nonprofit or something like that? You got like a charity thing that you got really popping that's going viral on Twitter right now? Like raising money for wells in Africa or maybe like you have like a nonprofit going for like a women's abuse center or something like that. What's going on? Oh no. I asked Dr. Disrespect if he had sex with a minor. I replied to him online. So that's it. If you ask me, pedophilia cured. The world doesn't have to worry about that problem anymore. We did it. Everybody. We got him. So now Love is behind his keyboard. He's gonna have this like sense of like vigilanteism going on here after this small viral success on Twitter. Love's thinking that he's like the Twitter Batman or something. Anytime Dr. Disrespect shows his head from around the corner, Love's gonna be sending him replies. Hey man, you remember that tweet? You remember that tweet? You remember that when you sent that tweet again? Isn't that crazy? Listen to this. This is insane to me.
I know. It's just different.
It's not the same. I know.
Yeah, it's not the same.
I feel like I'm using it for good. Yesterday I replied
Yeah, we're
to...
fighting the bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see what Love did yesterday?
Yeah.
Say what?
I replied to Dr. Disrespect and asked if it was...
Oh, that's true.
Sexting minors. Or I said didn't use sex with minors, and I got like 9,000 likes.
Look at Love's face. So happy. I got like 9,000 likes, bro. I was really like giving it to him, bro. Right after that, played like 9 straight hours of CSGO. No biggie. Still made a compilation for work and put in an 8-hour day. It's not a big deal. Now listen to this. The guy calls in. Remember we were talking about the dude with his ex. He's like practically stalking his ex. Now he calls in. Listen to this. This is what I'm talking about, this crazy behavior. Ethan knows that he doesn't have to do anything like this for people to watch his show. So the fact that he's willing to do something like this and like completely jeopardize this random fan who donated money to him is like insane, and the fact that the guy donated money at all to put a message out like that is insane. But now they got this guy to call in. Listen to this.
Okay.
I'm not here
You can do it, baby. I love you so
Let
much.
him in. Hello, Gavin. Can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
There it is.
All right, Gav.
Hello. Yeah.
Gav.
Let's talk. First of all, what is your age?
23.
Okay, so you're a young man.
Young man.
And Kara, you've been dating for how long?
We were together for 6 years.
Wow. So you met.
We were engaged for 2, but then that kind of.
Wow.
So you guys started dating when when you guys were 17, or you were 17.
Yeah.
So
Okay, now this all sounds fairly normal, right? Now this is where you're gonna start getting like the hit points here. This guy is like might be a little bit out of his mind with like boundaries and stuff like that. He might not be that good with boundaries, and that might be why this girl left him. And you're gonna hear one of like the bigger factors in that right now. Listen to this.
So is she the only person you've ever slept with?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so now this is where, things start getting a little hairy. Because this is the only girl that this guy's ever been with intimately. I'm sorry, I don't have a good vocabulary, We cursing a lot on this show, all that. So when I'm trying to put things lightly, it's not really my strong point. So this is the only girl that this guy's been with intimately. So he could be like madly in love with this chick. Like he started dating her when he was 17. Like you don't even know what good puss is, my man. Like, so let's not get crazy over this chick. You start donating money to podcasts trying to get this girl back, So right away to me, just a regular guy, you seem crazy. I'm sorry. I know you might be heartbroken. You seem crazy. Okay? We shouldn't be doing this right now. This is inappropriate. Let's also not forget the fact that if this girl is listening, which it sounds like she's probably a fan, if he's saying, oh, I hope you're watching, she's probably a fan. Let's not forget about the fact that she has no say in this. She has to sit there and like be embarrassed and whatever. And yeah, they might not out her name and they might not, dox these people. She's still going to be embarrassed. Personally, she's still going to be embarrassed over this. So now Ethan's got this guy calling in completely disregarding his feelings. he's also completely disregarding this guy's girlfriend's feelings because he doesn't know the situation. Like I said, this guy could be stalking her. She could be fearing for her life, and now she has to sit there and watch all this shit unfold live. So, what are we doing here, man?
Okay. And so it seems like, okay, so this is a pretty intimate, serious relationship. So when's the last time you talked to her?
I mean, I might be a little crazy and I've texted her a couple times, but in person, not since Saturday.
There you go, man. I don't know what else. What else can we say here? Like, so this guy, I mean, like I said, I feel for the dude. I've been heartbroken before myself. But this guy is kind of like outing himself, even saying like, oh yeah, I'm texting this bitch nonstop, but I haven't seen her since Saturday. You know, when this thing was filmed live, it was like Wednesday. So he hadn't seen this girl in person for like almost 5 days, and he's texting her the whole time probably. And now he's doing this live on air. Once again, everyone in this situation is completely disregarding the girl. So I find that a little odd, right? It gets worse. Now, Ethan, once again, completely disregarding the girl. I'm sorry, I keep bringing that point up, but we have to make that clear. This is what he does with this opportunity. This is what he does with this.
It's better, but that's good that you didn't do that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, don't
it's just
do
because I'm a huge fan. I was like, I need to be able to talk to Ethan.
So let's try to.
So this guy is a huge fan of Ethan. He's like looking at this like as not only an opportunity to get his girl back, but he's like over the moon. He's talking to like his favorite podcaster right now. He never thought this would ever happen in his life. Listen what Ethan asked this guy to do.
And I was like, I need to be able to talk to Ethan.
So let's try to spin this into something positive. So if she's watching, which she probably will see this, Kara, tell her what's in your heart, Gavin.
Talk to me, baby. I love you, Kara. Please just, you don't have to come home. Just talk to me a little bit, please. All right, I love you.
Nice.
You don't have to.
Nice. That's all Hila has to say about it. Nice. That's very nice of you, my boy, to throw that message out into the world like that. So Ethan, he makes this guy send, hey, you want to say like a little love prayer to your boo on live on air in front of all these people. You know what I mean? Once again, not doxing her or nothing or him, but like that whole situation's kind of dicey. And like I said, the biggest point about this whole thing that makes it kind of shitty on Ethan's part is he knows he doesn't have to do this kind of thing to get views. Not with just some random fan. You know what I mean? Like, pull these kind of stunts with Jeff FM. You know what I mean? Do that kind of stuff with Jeff. Don't do this stuff with just some random fan. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, check this out. So, I want to do like a little listener submission kind of thing. This little clip right here, their live stream ended up glitching out, right? And Ethan brings up this point here where he's like, let's fix the green screen, hurry up so that people can't goof on us, right? I'm going to let this play out. And if any listeners want to make themselves more than welcome to, you come up with a funny ass edit for this and send it to me through my Instagram DMs and we'll play them on the show. We'll see who has the best one. Anyone got a little bit of editing skills, you want to do that, that'd be a good listener submission type thing. Let's watch this play out.
Okay.
All right, it seems to be, you have external on? Okay.
Are we going to be green screen-less?
What's that?
We can't. Our preview thing is.
No, but I'm watching on YouTube. It's green. The green is greening.
Let's get rid of the green so people can't goof on us. I think it's time.
Please, 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 let's get that goof a-going, baby. So once again, like I said, any listeners got some good cap cut skills, you know what I mean? Clip that from this, right? Or get it from their episode, clip it. You come up with a nice funny green screen for them, and we'll play it on the show. We'll see who has the best one. So like, let's get back into this. Now, remember I told you to hold on to that Dwight Howard situation, right? This is great. So, with that Dwight Howard situation, Dwight was like networking, getting people's numbers and stuff like that, right? Dwight, after getting Hila's number, Hila turns over to Ethan and tells Ethan about it as if like Dwight was trying to pick her up. Like, are we living on the same planet here? Dwight Howard, NBA legend, 6'9", 3 foot or 36-inch vertical reach. You trying to tell me that this guy's gonna try to pick up on your fucking Wicked Witch of the West wife? You're fucking high out of your mind. But they are so delusional. They live in like such a vacuum or a bubble type situation here that like Hila really believes that like Dwight Howard was hitting on her. And even after Dwight clarifies that he wasn't, I think Hila still believes in her mind that he was. Watch this. This is insanity to me.
Down or something, and you're
I
like,
was just sitting down, and he was like, "Who are you? What do you do?" Something like that. And I was like, pointing at you, "We have a podcast together," something like that. And he was like, "Yeah, me too. I just started a podcast." I don't remember exactly the words, but he was like, "We should go on each other's podcasts." And for some reason in my head, I felt like you guys had already talked about it. And he was like, "Give me your number." And the way he asked for it didn't seem like, hey, I want to get to know you kind of number. At least, I don't know.
but you told me.
And then I was also put on the spot. People don't usually ask me for my number. Like,
Yeah, you know why people don't ask you for your number? Because you look like a witch. Like Hila, something about Hila, man. Like she always looks like she's wearing a costume. Am I wrong in this? It seems like no matter what clothes or that she's wearing or the way that she does her hair or anything like that, it always seems like she has a costume on. And I think the reason behind that is because she seriously looks like a witch. She looks like a character from like Malevolent or something. So when she's wearing like regular street clothes, it looks off because it looks like she should be wearing like a witch's gown with the witch hat and she should be like floating around on a broom. You know what I mean? So every time I see her, it always looks like she's wearing a costume. So yeah, people don't ask you for your number because like 9 times out of 10 you come in contact with people, they're terrified of you. They don't know what's gonna happen. You're gonna suck their blood, or you're gonna like fly around and start putting hexes on people. Nobody knows. So I find this very delusional on Hila's part. Listen to this. They keep going.
I don't know. So I was just like, okay, I guess I'm typing my number right now. And then I think you asked me, did you just give him your number?
No, you told me. You said he just
Or
asked for my number.
Yeah.
So it was a networking, let me get your contact type.
I think so.
Well,
listen to that. See, that's kind of what I was talking about. Look at her face right now. This bitch actually believes that Dwight Howard was trying to pick her up. You kidding me right now? Bro, you're like Dwight Howard's backup security level at best. You know what I mean? Like, if you showed up to Dwight Howard's bus, he's going to pass you off to security, right? Those guys, they're also going to pass. They're going to pass you off to the backup security. The ones that, like, when those guys, like, call out and stuff. So, that's, like, the level that we're talking about with Hila. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it. If I'm the only one, say so in the comments. But to me, that's absolutely crazy that she's saying this. And look at the way even Zach says that was a networking, right? A networking number. She goes, I think so. I don't know. You know, like now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it wasn't. You're crazy.
So it was a networking, let me get your contact type.
I think so.
Well, here, let me play.
That's what I...
Ultimately, yes, that's what I think.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
I see you on Instagram and stuff, but in real life, this is my second
By the way,
time.
we're married, bro.
I'm happy.
Me and her.
Oh, no, I wasn't trying to holler at you.
Look at that. Ethan trying to be a big dick swinging at the fucking poker. That, I'm not going to lie, I give Ethan a little bit of respect for that. A smidge of respect. You're standing up for somebody like Dwight Howard. Because Ethan always struck me as a kind of a beta cuck. You know what I mean? Like, he struck me as a kind of guy who would take that situation lying down, you know? So, props to Ethan for standing up for, you know, his wife and her innocence. if you want to call it that. So this guy, she ends up telling him like, hey man, you know, I'm this guy asked me for my number. Ethan's like, number? What are you talking about? I'm about to fuck this guy up. Who is it? She goes, it's Dwight Howard. Now he's like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't say anything about it. Then he starts getting the liquid crazy. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot I had like 8 shots tonight. What the fuck? I can say something, right? And then he starts thinking, oh, wait, the poker guys, like they're all on my side. Like I'm like the golden boy here. I could kind of do like whatever I want. So I think I'm going to say something. Watch this.
By the way, we're married, bro. I'm happy.
Oh, no, I wasn't trying to holler at you.
I get it.
Look, the funniest part about that, I'm going to zoom in so we could see it better. The funniest part about this, watch. When Ethan initiates this, Dwight Howard's, he's looking at his phone. He don't give 2 shits about it. He's looking at all the numbers to be like, who could we have on next week? Who could we have on the week after? Watch this. He does not care about these 2 at all.
I see you on Instagram and stuff, but in real life, it's my second
By the way,
time.
we're married, bro.
I'm happy. Oh, no, I wasn't trying to holler at you.
I get it. Okay. I had to say something.
Ethan's so awkward. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. And then they start asking to be on each other's podcast. Like, no, Dwight Howard. If I was Dwight, I'd be like, dude, what are you kidding me? You want to ask me to be on your show? It's not happening, bro. I'm sorry. So now we're getting closer to the end. We're going to leave on these points. So with this whole button situation that we covered in the previous episode, and now we got these poker tournament time codes, Ethan's making this guy call in, blah, blah, blah. With the button situation in particular, and him always talking shit about Hila's brother Moses and Trisha Paytas, a lot of people have been reacting to those situations online lately. And one creator, this guy named Adam, who I'm not very familiar with at all, but he's like one of those spill the tea type streamers and TikTokers. And Adam's been talking a lot about the button situation, about AB, and Ethan's not a big fan of that at all, right? So there ends up being these like text message exchanges between Adam and Ethan's mom. Sounds very sus, right? This does not rub Ethan the right way, especially since Adam is making these reaction videos on him. He does not like this. Ethan gets very pissed off. And Ethan initially framed this out to make it seem like Adam was trying to creep on his sweet old mom. Let's listen to what actually happened right here.
What did Adam post?
I hate that shit. I'm sorry. I had to stop it real fast. These guys are always eating on their stream. Like, am I the only one that thinks Ethan might be on Ozempic? I'm sorry, I'm sidetracking a little bit here, but they're always eating like this on stream. Every day. And this guy is losing weight, like, by the minute. You know what I mean? Like, every time he gets on camera, he seems a little bit skinnier than he was before. And let's not forget, just about a year ago, this guy weighed like 250, 300 pounds. And he's claiming he did it all by not eating. When you just don't eat, you start to get flabby. You know what I mean? Like, you start to get real Jabba the Hutt real quick, you know? So, like, this can't be natural. He has to be on Ozempic or something. I guess there's nothing wrong with that if you actually need it, but it seems like every person with a beefy bank account wants to get on Ozempic instead of just doing the actual work it takes to lose some weight. Like, you know, if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, that's what Ozempic's for. It's not just because you have a big bank account and you want to lose some weight without doing the exercise. Every time, like, these guys will order Domino's, right? And the camera will, like, cut to Love like this. And Love will say, like, one thing. It'll cut back to Ethan like this. The Domino's is gone. It's like Panda Express. Somehow, it's like a magic trick. Somehow, in the 5-second cut that took place, he's eating a whole new smorgasbord of food. And they don't give 2 shits about, like, chewing it into the microphone. Like, I don't even understand how these guys have any listeners with that kind of behavior. But let's get back to this Adam situation. So Ethan, stuffing his face, he asked Dan, well, what's happening with the Adam situation? And now we're here.
What did Adam post?
Posted all the DMs with your mom.
Got him.
Here they are. Honestly, kind of exonerating him.
In what way?
Your mom is the initiator of all of it. Huh? Yeah, take a look. She invited him to dinner. She was the one that reached out to him. It was your mom towards him, not the other way around.
She would always shout him out on families, I know.
God damn, she would always shout him out on family. So right now, Ethan's like, what the fuck is going on? My mom. My sweet old mom. So now Ethan looks like an asshole, right? He doesn't like this. He doesn't like this at all. So what do you think he does? If you had to take one guess, what would you think Ethan does? Do you think he just apologizes and lets it go? Or do you think he tries to call his mom and try to prove the situation to be in his benefit? If you guess the latter, you're right. Watch this.
Mahjong game because it's hard for me to focus while I'm talking.
Well, this was important. I appreciate you taking the call. This was important.
Okay.
Well, today, hold on. He made a video about me and he said I'm embarrassing. He said I should be embarrassed.
Listen to that. Now, if you could not write a better poetry than this, like I'm telling you, this right here, it's like a scripted movie. You know what I mean? This is so good. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why this is so rich right here, this situation. Ethan is calling his mom to try to get clarification on the Adam situation. Right there, that's making himself look like an asshole. What's making him look even more like an asshole is now he's whining to his mom about the videos that Adam's making about him. Now, if you're familiar with H3, if you're a current listener of H3, what's something Ethan having to do with his mom? What's something he bitches about all the time? He bitches about Moses, Hila's brother, and Trisha Paytas always complaining and talking about Hila and Ethan to Ethan's mom. Now, if this is not the fucking pure definition of irony, I don't know what is. Let's check this out again.
He made a video about me and he said I'm embarrassing. He said I should be embarrassed.
Embarrassed about what?
About what I said about Moses. He says the only reason I like Trisha is because the only reason that I'm saying nice things about Trisha is because her podcast is doing well and that I embarrassed myself. What do you say about that?
This guy is legitimately like, he's going off the rails. Talking about calling to your mommy right now, you know. We got him. It does not get any like more poetic than that. It really does not get any more poetic than that. Now, we'll end it on this last time code. Like I said, this episode was supposed to be like why Frenemies is never coming back. That one little segment, there's like they talked about it for like 20 minutes. Out of like a 3-hour episode. You know what I mean? Everything else was gambling talk, this, that, and just bullshit. You know? Very clickbaity if you ask me, but welcome to YouTube. So, now, they talked about a lot of gambling. I had covered the first Celebrity Poker Tour. Now we just got done talking about the second one. The first one, he brought AB. The second one, he brought Love. Now, why that's suspicious... or kind of fucked up, if you ask me, is Love has a gambling problem, or at least he claims he has a gambling problem. He used to gamble on like CSGO skins or something when he was younger. How you do that, I have no idea. But he did it nonetheless. And now he just gets done going on this trip with them to Vegas on this poker tournament, whatever. This guy ends up relapsing. Now, If you're an alcoholic, you have a friend who's an alcoholic. Like if I owned a business and I had an employee, he was an alcoholic, I wouldn't be like, yo, we're gonna go on a business trip to like Martha's Vineyard. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna go wine tasting, you know, the whole time. I know you got a problem with that. The whole trip's gonna be revolving around wine. Everywhere you go, you're not gonna be able to take 2 steps without running into a glass of wine. Sounds like the perfect environment for you. Let's make it happen. That's basically what's going on here. But usually when people like relapse on their addictions, people don't go out of their way to congratulate them. But Ethan, however, is very, very excited. The whole crew is very excited to congratulate Love on his slot machine winnings from this Vegas trip. Check this out.
That's what makes it so cool.
Am I forgetting an aspect of... It's been a long time.
Well, what do you mean? The skill of being lucky.
Right.
That's classic gamble talk right there. That is the talk of an addict. It's luck is a skill. That sounds like classic gambling addiction.
It's been a long time.
Well, what do you mean? The skill of being lucky.
Right,
Yeah.
of course.
That is a skill.
Yeah.
It's cosmic.
Yeah.
Love has it. You cleaned
damn
up.
right. Yeah, I
Love cleaned the fuck up
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
slot machine. You won like $750.
What?
That's insane right there, dude. You got to be tripping. So think about this. If Love is a gambling addict, what's happening right here would be like if you had a family member who was a heroin addict, which is not uncommon. This is a very big problem in this country. So that could be any one of us. Let's say you got a family member who's a heroin addict. They've been clean for, 10 years. Now, they relapse on heroin. And when everybody in the family finds out about it, everybody starts fucking clapping. Yeah, dude, you did it. We finally got you back on the wagon, man. I was wondering how long it would take. We were all taking bets on you, man. That's kind of what's happening right here. Like, they're legitimately, like, congratulating this guy for relapsing. If he's a gambling addict, they should not be congratulating this behavior.
That is a skill.
Yeah.
It's cosmic.
Yeah.
Love has it. You cleaned up.
Right. Yeah, I
Love cleaned the fuck up
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
slot machine. You won like $750.
What? Really?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I walked around with Gabe and his buddy at the casino for like 40 minutes or something. Gabe did some blackjack. I lost $100 on blackjack. Then they were going home. I was like, while we wait for the Uber, let's sit down at this slot machine. I saw my favorite slot machine, which is Buffalo. And
Buffalo.
Mhm,
The
that's
famous
what's up.
one.
Yeah, and I put in my $100, went down to $60. Then on a $3 bet, I won $750.
$3 bet. That's a
Yeah.
monster
Crazy.
jackpot.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Bro, so he's down like almost $200, dude. So yeah, he's like up 500, but let's not forget, it's a lifetime of regret that comes along with that. You know what I mean? So let's give it up for Ethan and the H3 crew. It seems like we're gonna just get non-stop debauchery from these guys. Like, and we're not gonna make every episode H3. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, we're just gonna be checking in on these guys. From time to time. We're going to move along with these guys for now, because this isn't the H3 summary hour, you know what I mean? So we're not going to keep that train going. We might just touch on them from episode to episode, that might be a segment. Let's see how H3's doing today. You know what I mean? We spend like 10 minutes on it, we move on. But we can't cover these guys every goddamn week. As crazy as they are, I'm sorry, we just can't do it. So we'll be moving on next week. But I just want to thank you for joining me once again on another episode of Lost Aux Media. As always, every single week, we love to have you guys here. Make sure to catch us on YouTube at youtube.com/@LostAUXmedia. That's youtube.com/@LostAuxmedia. YouTube episodes go up at 4 p.m. and the audio episodes go up at 5 a.m. on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you catch your podcasts. That way, you can listen to the podcast on the way to work, and when you get home from work, you can watch them. That's just the way we do it here, But with that, I will leave you guys until next week. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.